And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the one we have all been waiting for here at the BC Rugby Senior Men's and Women's Finals for BC Rugby. We are down to the big one, the Premier League Men's Final between the UBC Thunderbirds and the Castaway Wanderers. And joined on commentary by myself, Joshua Knight, and joined by Andy Blackburn. Andy, how are you today?
Very well, Josh, very well. It's been a great day. Unfortunately, 2 losses by Bayside, but here we are hosting the BC Finals at Bayside Shark Tank, and you couldn't ask for better weather and a better day.
And it's been an absolutely brilliant day for rugby. The sun is really coming out for this finals, for this final Premier League match. And I'm going to run through our teams we have so far for our UBC RFC men's. We have number 1, Calixto Martinez. Number 2, Jacob Bossy. Number 3, Connor O'Flaherty. Number 4, Frank Carson, followed by his brother number 5, David Carson, and his other brother number 6, Donald Carson. So the 3 Carson boys at it today. Then we have number 7, Owen Rutain, and number 8, Alfie Scopes to field out our forward pack. In the backs, number 9, Jacob Byrne. Number 10, Max Abercrombie. Number 11, Jared Andrews Olmack. Number 12, Landon Clinormus. Number 13, Dakota McMullen. Number 14, John Land. And number 15, Killick Saxa. And in off the bench for the UBC RFC, number 16, Joshua Tweed. Number 17, Peyton Tanake. Number 18, Sol Jux. Number 19, Joshua Downs. Number 20, Ian McTavish. Number 21, Relmu Wilson Valdez. Number 22, Isaac Kelly. And number 23, Connor Byron. And on the Castaway Wanderers, we have number 1, Gavin Kratz. Number 2, John Braddock. Number 3, Jack Spinarsky. Number 4, Liam Chisholm. Number 5, John Humphreys. Number 6, Mike Finnimore. Number 7, Sawyer Heron. Number 8, Cameron Sanderson. And in our backline, number 9, Zechariah Pilgrim. Number 10, Graydon Bowd. Number 11, Angus Boyd Porter. Number 12, Brandon Schellenberger. Number 13, Daniel James. Number 14, Micah Debay. And number 15, Jordan Tate. Off the bench for the Castaway Wanderers, Aidan Cole. Number 16, 17, Alex Clark. Number 18, Mike Fuaflefau. Number 19, Matthew Sutherland. Number 20, Daniel Griffiths. Number 21, Stephen Pike. Number 22, Riley Ilnicki. And number 23, Gareth Sanna. And we are set for kickoff here. How do you think this one's going to go down, Andy?
Well, the form books would have to tell you it will be UBC, but as we find out on finals day, you can throw the form book straight out of the window. I would still probably back UBC maybe by a 20-point margin. What about yourself, Josh?
Well, I do see that the UBC have been dominant throughout the season, and let's see what the boys from the island can bring as the back 3 get hold of this ball with a beautiful run, and now picked up by the 4, Frank Carson. And he gives it offload to all when he's met with a strong tackle there by the wingers, and that was 14, John Land. 3, big hit up there by Connor O'Flaherty in the red headgear. Looks now out to the back line for the UBC Thunderbirds, and he's taken in a strong tackle. Great piece of cover there, and then it looks like they're going to blow the penalty first up.
UBC playing with a lot of intent, like to move the ball coast to coast. It's the way they play. It's the perfect day for it.
And as a nice clearing kick by the 9, which is, of course, Jacob Byrne. And UBC really looking to put their grip on this game early on against the Castaway Wanderers.
Looks like there's been some last-minute changes to the lineup, Josh. I thought one of the other Carsons, Jack Carson, the 7s player, was originally slated to start 9, and Matt Pacillier, brother of Will, was meant to be fullback today. So maybe some last-minute injuries.
Yeah, could have been some last-minute injuries as the line-out is given, but it wasn't a good line-out, but still picked up by UBC Thunderbirds. But no, there's going to be a penalty against the Thunderbirds.
Well, if CW are going to win today, they've got to back their set piece, their line-out to their scrums, their dogged defence. They are the surprise package. Everybody expected a UBC versus Ravens final, 1 seed versus 2. But reading the match report from last week, I believe Castaway Wanderers were able to surprise the Ravens in the final minute of the game. They stayed with them the whole game and nipped a tight one, 26-24. So I think set piece will be huge for Castaway Wanderers, and I think UBC will probably need to keep ball in hand and just run them all over the park.
As we set now for Castaway Wanderers with their throw-in. Let's look at their line-out. Nice little pick-up there by Liam Chisholm. But it's been handed over to UBC as they're bumping off players with strong running.
And there you have the commentator's curse, Josh.
It's an early for that. As the 22's away, and that's, of course, is Isaac Kelly. And looks like he's just lost it and cast away. Unlucky for Isaac Kelly. He was away. Needed some support, Isaac. As the Wanderers now try to make their way up the field. And there's a strong tackle and trying to be held up there. And he's stolen the ball too. Well done by the UBC Thunderbird. And here it is, Calixto Martinez. What a hunk of a lad Calixto is.
Local lad from Bayside, Cali Martinez, making some great post-contact meters.
He's got the size of the Great Wall of China, that lad. All right, and just a little change there. Number 22 is not Isaac Kelly. I will get that name for you shortly. As UBC set now. Let's see their first scrum. Let's see how strong it looking. Wow, great scrum. And the 22 with the ball now changes it. It's very slippery. He's through again, and they finally bring him down about 40 meters out. And he's straight through there for that. He's straight through the number 2, which is, of course, Jacob Bossy. And Jacob Bossy goes over for the try. UBC with the first try of the game by Jacob Bossy.
Showing clean pair of heels there. Forwards playing as backs. Showing the skill set on offer from this UBC team. And laying down a marker early.
Well, if it's one thing that you know about the coaching of Didier Bance, he always makes sure his forwards have the skills that the backs can possess in handling, and you saw that with Jacob Bossy. He was able to get free, get around his players, and have the ball in both hands, looking for options on either side. That, of course, confuse those defenders, and then gets him away and next to the post for the UBC's first try.
An excellent addition to the UBC coaching staff there, D. Bance. I've had the pleasure of coaching with him over the years, and I did notice that UBC were averaging 50 points a game during the regular season. But in defence, they were leaking 16 points. And in the last 3 games leading up to this game, arguably against 3 of the toughest teams, they've managed to shore their defence up and now average only 8 points a game. So heck of an attack there with a 50-point average and an even better defence with 8 against.
As we look to get this conversion now. And it's good. So that takes the UBC side 7 points to Castaway Wanderers 0. And conversion was kicked by number 23, Connor Byron.
For you history buffs out there, you may realise or may not realise that this is actually the 100th year of the Roundsfell Cup, which was first competed for in 1922. FW Roundsfell, a Vancouver insurance broker and financier and former BC Rugby star, donated the trophy, and it was first won by the Central Athletic Club. It's been contested every year up until last 2, where COVID obviously took its effect, and the reigning champions are the Ravens, who are not contesting here today.
And it's going to be a great cup to be won, hopefully, by one of these two sides as they battle it out again with Calixto taking up a big hit up in the middle. Now, on the outside, a bit of speed now by the 15. That's Saxa. Saxa's away, still trying to get around, and he's finally brought down about 40 metres out. Great run by Saxa.
Huge yards on every carry here, Josh. UBC just going through the phases, backing the skills.
And Castaway will better learn to tackle those players down if they want to try and be part of this game. And a lovely hit up there again, but great strong tackle by the 10, which is great and bowed. A little knock on there, but not picked up by the referee. And a strong tackle by the Castaway Wanderers number 12, which is Brandon Schellenberger. And now Castaway starting to lift on their defense. Oh, it's loose carry, and no, we're going to come back for a penalty.
There's Bradley Schvalger in the middle there today, civil engineer from the University of Auckland, arguably the best referee in BC. We've been fortunate at Bayside this year to be refereed by him on several occasions. Really is a class act.
And it's great, and we thank all the officials that are refereeing in all our BC finals today. Some great officiating, and of course the game cannot be run without the great work done by the officiators.
Josh, you're a former referee, correct?
I dabble in refereeing now and then.
Yeah, the quality of the referee in the last several seasons has gone up tremendously in BC. I think there's been an infusion of young referees. I think Chris Asmus has done a great job, and the game as a result has improved, and it needed to be fair.
Absolutely. You know, part of the game really needs to be grown, and the development of rugby union in BC can only happen with strong officiating and, of course, strong coaching, and something that BC Rugby takes pride in putting efforts involved in doing so.
Well, a couple of cracking coaches here today with Curry Hitchborn and Ken Goodland, so we're showcasing the best that we have to offer.
Exactly. As now we look to get Connor Byron to try and put UBC at 3 points again in head.
Pulled it left. Oh,
no, and straight through. Great there by Connor Byron. So we now have the UBC Thunderbirds at 10 points to 0 against the Castaway Wanderers. Hand of the note. So number 22 is Killick Saxa. So that means that number 15 now is a mystery, and we'll find out who number 15 is at some stage. Matt Pacilier. Okay, there we go.
So that answers the question from earlier there, Josh.
Here we go. Castaway Wanderers now making a move. They've got to try and score here. They're pushing their way through. Bargy stuff. A couple of the big boys looking to take some pick and goes. Nice big hit up by Gavin Kratz. Going wide now. Gives it out to the centers pairing, and he's taken the ball. It's flicked back and picked up by Calixto Martinez. And it looks like there's going to be a penalty to Castaway.
He covers the ground, Cali Martinez, like no other prop. Hell of a set of lungs on that guy. He's spent many of his weekends hiking with his mum growing up, and he even played BC Sevens to go and show you what an athlete he is for a prop forward.
That's amazing.
Played rugby league in the Commonwealth Nines as an under-19 back in 2014 and made a heck of an impression over there. He's just one of those all-round talented freaks.
And they're exciting to watch here at the Premier League final, and I'll tell you. As Castaway now, it's actually a scrum, not a penalty, and it looks like they're going to hold the scrum. On the outside to Pilgrim. Pilgrim wings, picks it up, but he can't. And it's going to be a knock-on again, unfortunately. And this time, it's going to be the scrum, loose head and feed to the UBC Thunderbirds.
Yeah, strong UBC defence there. Forcing Castaway Wanderers to push the offload when maybe they didn't need to. Could have gone through a few phases.
And now that scrum fell down the last crack at it. So we're going to see how this scrum holds up. As UBC a little bit under pressure now from the Castaway Wanderers. And this time they're holding that scrum up. And he's come off the back there. One of the Carson boys, which looks like Donald Carson could be. They're all big, strong, powerful runners. Heading back for a clearing kick now. And it's hit the wind, so it's given a bit of... And it's taken by Mike Adibe. Wanderers now. Big hit up there by the number 1, Gavin Kratz. And down the blind side by the big fella, number 3, Spinatsky. And taking a strong tackle there for the number 6, Finnemore. Castaway still trying to make a move here.
Showing a lot more composure here, Josh, just going through the phases, playing themselves back into the game a little bit here.
Adibe, he needs his support. He held up and they're still trying to rip that ball. Bowed, kicks over to Lewis
Looked offside there, Josh.
Oh, dear
yeah,
me.
Testament to the UBC defence that they chose to kick past to the corner there. They weren't making many yards, went through several phases, and UBC just kept them outside of their red zone.
And absolute credit to UBC getting off their line, but of course causing the offside penalty. And now Wanderers looking to try and get some points on the board and bring it to a 10 points to 3 with this penalty. Now they've got the breeze. The breeze is still up, so it shouldn't be much about the legs when he's like 23 meters out. It's all about direction.
Yeah, UBC are looking to wrestle back the Roundsville Cup. They were dominant in the late in 2015 through 2017, where they got the 3-peat, pushing for the 4-peat. Unfortunately, lost against the Ravens back at Abbotsford Rotary Stadium, 16-10, who then went and got a repeat in 2019, beating Burnaby Lake. And since then, obviously, no Roundsville Cup's been competed. But this is a golden opportunity for UBC to get their hands back on the trophy. And
with the Castaway Wanderers looking to try and spoil that opportunity, of course, as they've just kicked their penalty, making it 10 points to 3. And now UBC set to restart here. It's great to have rugby back, and it's great to have these finals being played once more. So Perciel there with a restart, and Bowd looking to clear it again with a lovely nudge. He's got hold of that wind, and he sent it a long way back. And UBC have to bring it out now from their own 10-meter line. And he beats the first, though, Perciel. Oh, and a beautiful pass out to the winger there, John Lan, I believe. No, it's Jared Andrews-Almack. And Bowd getting back to get it again. Wanderers send it into the middle. Another nice nudge, and this time it's got a lot, but he's going to take it on the full. No, he lets it go back a bit. Perciel. And he's coming out to have a look. This is Saxa, and Saxa tries to get through, and he's taken down and hands over the ball, but help comes to help him. And it's taken up with a hard hit up by UBC. Strong running. And Abercrombie.
This passage of play, Josh, really sums up the two contrasting styles of these two teams. Castaway Wanderers playing field position, putting the ball into the corners, and UBC trying to run out of their own 22, and after several phases decided to clear their lines.
And you can see on the breeze that the breeze is starting to pick up. Oh, it's Bowd through. Bowd's through. He's got support and he's outside. He can use him, can he? He doesn't need him. Bowd over in the corner for the Castaway Wanderers. Braden Bowd. Wow. Now that kick was a nothing kick. It went up in the air, got taken by the breeze. Bowd got underneath it, and no one was around him to make that tackle. He went through, sliced through that defense of the UBC Thunderbirds, and then he had Andrew Zolmak on his. He had Micah Debe on his outside, and he didn't need him in the end. Rode over to the corner and scored for the Castaway Wanderers, bringing the score back to 10 points to 8 with a kick to come.
Well, Grady Bowd was excellent last week against the UBC Ravens and instrumental in their victory. He was definitely slated as a one to watch and just showed his class there. You've got to think that UBC, who are used to running the ball from anywhere on the field, were forced into that kick. And maybe that's the game plan from Castaway Wanderers. Pin them into the corners and force UBC to attack. Wait for the mistakes and then capitalise.
And I think with the breeze, they can really use that. They've got some really nice kickers on that Castaway Wanderers side, whether it's Graydon Bowd or also the centres there, Schellenberger and James. They've got great nudges there, and they can use this breeze to really put pressure on the UBC Thunderbirds as the kick is waved away. So the scores remain UBC Thunderbirds 10 versus the Castaway Wanderers 8.
This really could come down to a battle of the tacticians today, Josh. I think the game plan so far shown by Castaway Wanderers is a very smart game plan, and UBC are going to have to adapt.
It's not their usual style. They've got haven't had much pressure put on them there defensively, and unfortunately that doesn't go 10. So that breeze is really starting to pick up and affect the kicks here.
It's the beauty about finals day. Regular season means nothing. You can dominate teams all you like, but when it comes down to finals day, as we just saw with the two Bayside teams, that pressure can get the better of you. And so far, I think Castaway Wanderers have responded very well to an early 10-0 deficit.
That's exactly right. As they set now for a scrum. Right dead set in the middle. And Pilgrim, as it's going to be reset there, a little bit eager there.
Just looking, Josh, I know Jake Bourne was put down there on the starting sheet, but that's definitely Jack Carson at number 9. Jack's obviously the Canada 7-star who made his debut back in the fall of 2021 with a lot of other younger lads, and one of 4 Carson boys today. So I've just done a quick calculation, Josh. You've got a 26.66% chance of, if you call the name Carson, you're going to be right with one of them.
That's correct. And yes, Jack Carson indeed.
Yeah.
And penalty against the scrum there for the UBC. And it looks like it's something with the front row that went mayhem. As they kick to the side now, looking to attack about 40 metres out from the Castaway Wanderers line. UBC Thunderbirds really looking to get those points back after that try. Oh, and just gets the back of the line out, but they managed to regather as retained with a little slip pass at the back. Saxa now to...
Resembling somewhat of a basketball game there, but just goes to show you the skills and the intent from the UBC team.
And Martinez now with another big hit up. And he's taken just over the 38 metres out from the Castaway Wanderers line. As Carson takes a... I'll tell you which Carson in a moment, but I'm sure it's one of them. And here's Don Carson, I believe, number 4.
Bending the line
Frank
with it.
Carson.
Bending the line with every carry, UBC.
They are absolutely dominating now. Starting to get their roll on UBC Thunderbirds. And it looks like the referee has called for a penalty.
Got himself isolated there on the right flank, one of the Carson boys.
That's David Carson that was isolated there. This reminds me of a rugby union match recently where Dad played with all of his sons.
That's right, back in the forwards, 8 forwards, I believe. I forget the name.
Yeah. And I think the Carsons are well on their way to almost being able to achieve that themselves.
Well, if Canada wants to progress up the rankings, they're certainly going to need some freak athletes like these Carson boys.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've had guys of this physical stature, athleticism with the ball skills that these guys have. The question is, when you graduate from UBC, do you want to go into a job paying 6 figures, or do you want to struggle for the next 5 or 6 years unless you make an MLR contract or a European overseas contract? That's a real dilemma we're facing in Canada Rugby right now, and we'll see if we follow the career paths of these lads once they leave. It'll give us a good indication.
Absolutely. As the number 7, the Owen Retain takes up. Nice hit up in the middle. Now to Saxa. Looking dangerous on all the fringes that he's getting that ball out. Gives it to Bossy. And Bossy out now. Back inside to Byron.
I believe that's Talon. I believe that's Dakota McMullen. His brother was just playing for Bayside in the previous game. Also outside centre, the couple of twins there from Earl Marriott School, local players, and I believe Talon might be joining his brother at UBC next year, so that'll be an interesting pairing. That's outside centre 13, I believe there, Josh.
Oh, yep. And Bowed now.
Well,
clearing kick.
CW dominating the breakdowns right now, playing the percentages down the sidelines and backing their line out.
I think the Thunderbirds better get used to trying to get a few more numbers into their rucks to cure that ruck, as a few of those jackals are really working well for the CW
One thing about UBC, Josh, is that they play their game. They don't really worry too much about the opposition, and they play their style, try and impose their style on their opponents. But it looks like Castaways have done their homework.
And a nice line out there by the Wanderers to Bowd. Bowd now. And decent, they're met with decent defence. Oh,
there you go.
Again.
What's interesting, Josh, about this matchup today is that these two sides didn't play themselves in the regular season. It was an unbalanced schedule with only 8 regular season games because of the shortened season this year with the Coastal Cup taking place in the fall. So they really don't know each other than videotape. And that could actually play into the hands of Castaway Wanderers.
Absolutely, especially if you haven't played your opposition during regular season. I mean, like you said, though, at a finals game, you know, everything can be thrown out the window. But if you haven't played them at all, then, yeah, you are only looking at video footage or watching previous games.
And sometimes you've got to back the composure of those seasoned veterans that have played in many finals over the years. You know, these young lads at UBC, you've got teenagers and young 20-somethings, and sometimes the occasion can get the better of you.
As the Castaway Wanderers look now to get another 3 points and take the lead from the UBC Thunderbirds with a penalty. And it's good. And that's it. They've taken the lead now. Castaway Wanderers 11, UBC Thunderbirds 10.
Well, to quote Mark Bryant of the BC Rugby News, Grady Bowd at 10 was the architect of almost all of CW's strategy last week when they beat the Ravens. His kicking game, in his words, was darn near perfect. And the final conversion under intense pressure will be long remembered, and he's showing no signs of letting up today.
And he is looking very good in the kicking department there, Grady Bowd, and especially with this breeze behind him. Looking forward to seeing what UBC can do as a comeback to try and reclaim some points. And nice high restart. And knocked back by UBC Thunderbirds. Great job. And then here's away. Connor Byron now. He's away on the outside, Connor Byron. He's got one to beat. And great tackle there by the fullback, Jordan Tate. What a tackle made on Connor Byron. He was a certainty to score, and it was the fullback that made the tackle. And what a fantastic tackle indeed.
Yeah, I believe again that was Dakota McMullen outside centre, Josh there, showing a great step on the outside and a turn of pace. He's a big unit. Looked for all like he was going in the corner. But as you say, wonderful covering tackle there from the CW fullback, Jordan Tate. Definite try saver. Oh! Pick up the line. Oh, that's a soft try there. An overthrow at the line out. Picked up there. And an easy 5-pointer.
Oh dear. Wow. That was a soft try indeed. Went over the back of the line out. Picked up. And taken in for the try. Well, they got the points back, so a try is a try. All right, and the kick now, looking to convert, and it doesn't get there. So UBC Thunderbirds taking the lead back 15 points to 11 on the Castaway Wanderers. And that conversion was missed by Dakota McMullen. As UBC now try to hold this lead of 4 points as we have about 13 minutes left of this first half of the Premier League final for BC Rugby Men's. And a nice jump there by Frank Carson and brought down. And Martinez there takes up a big hit up, and he's brought down by the Wanderers pack.
You can see there, Josh, how he made such a good rugby league prop forward there with a strong hit up.
Absolutely. Loves to go into contact, which is always necessary. Oh, and he stepped out. He was away. And the touch judge points to the spot, just in case anyone thought he was lying.
Again, UBC showing their willingness to attack from anywhere, and they're dangerous from any part of the field, just the way they play. Castaway Wanderers need to be very aware of what UBC can do, even from 80, 90 yards out.
Absolutely. They can strike from any point on the field. Oh, and it's stripped there by UBC Thunderbirds. And retain. Picked up to Saxa. Saxa now. Held in the tackle, trying to get it back. He does. Quick ball now. Carson. Taken, looking for the offload. The hands are free, but can't get it loose. No support. Thunderbirds now making a move. Gives it to the 3, which is O'Flaherty, the red headgear. Trying to get it out. Short now. Martinez. Bounces off 1, looking for the offload. Still pumping those legs. And they can't break free of Martinez. He gets the ball out, but it's a penalty.
Breakdown a real problem for UBC at the moment. Castaways just biding their time, turning them over, allowing UBC forwards to get isolated. And another opportunity for 3 points for Graydon Bowd.
And like I said, he has the breeze with him, so the leg shouldn't be the distance. It should definitely be the direction.
Interesting today, Josh, because I would have thought that CW would have been back in their lineouts and their scrums, and yet UBC seem to have the edge. But the breakdown is where Castaway Wanderers are really stamping their authority on the game.
Absolutely. And it's those just those fringe forwards there for the Castaway Wanderers that have just got the experience to get in and over that ball and try and rip it free and secure the ball for their team, which is really what is starting to slow down the UBC Thunderbirds.
Talking about the breakdown there, Josh, a big shout out today goes to Jason Hignell, a local Abbotsford lad, Canada Rugby Union player coming through the age grades, Canada captain, Rugby League player too, who's been plying his trade in Yorkshire for the Sheffield Rugby Union Club. Made his debut today for Yorkshire senior county team against Northumberland, winning 52 points to 50. Jason's dad sadly passed away to COVID last year, and I'm sure he'll be looking down on him, immensely proud of what is a great Canadian player playing overseas, and hopefully one day we'll see him back on our shores, whether it's Major League Rugby or hopefully with a maple leaf on his chest.
And that's great to see that Canadian players are doing well with their rugby overseas. As we just saw Bowd kick a penalty goal, so we've taken us now 15 points to 14 with UBC 1 point over the Castaway Wanderers.
A little bit loose with their offloading here, and Castaways managed to steal another ball.
And there's Gavin Kratz has taken a big hit up there as they look to shift it back the other way. Bowd gives him the outside, and he's looking to beat McMullen, but doesn't. Over the top now. Another big run by Kratz, and he's gotten the ball back well. Bowd calling for it now. Another clearing kick, and back there to get it is Abercrombie. And Abercrombie now looking to make a move, but he's by himself and looking for support, and support finally comes. But there's someone over the ball. Have they got it? Yes, they do.
And there's a constant theme. You can see the confidence just seeping into the Castaway Wanderers game. After a shaky start, they do look like the dominant side right now, and UBC is going to have to do something about the breakdown.
And looks like he's going to take another shot here and try and take the lead back with his boot.
Well, it's the old adage, Josh, of keeping that scoreboard ticking, something that most clubs fail to do, and ultimately in finals and semi-finals, it comes back and bites you on the proverbial backside.
And yes, as we saw earlier in the day, with Bayside 3rd Division that missed 2 opportunities to take points, and unfortunately it came down to a section of points at the end of the match. Bowd now, looking to take his team ahead. Got the distance and the direction, and it's 3 points to the Castaway Wanderers. So they take the lead. Castaways 17, over the UBC Thunderbirds, 50.
Very impressive, very impressed, Josh, with this Graydon Bowd. He really is the maestro. Everything comes off him. If I was UBC, I'd be looking to target him, make him tackle, and just try and tire him out, because if he's allowed to play his game and stamp his authority on the game the way he's done so far, it could be a tough afternoon for these UBC Thunderbirds.
And they're learning quickly as they go, the UBC Thunderbirds. They'll need to adjust on the run. As the restart there by Jacob Byrne. Looks like they knocked it on there as well. And the question is, did it actually travel the 10? And
yeah, I believe Jack Carson's not really, he's not really considering the wind in these restarts.
My bad, Jack Carson, that's where I've got to change up here.
Attention everyone in the beer garden. Please check your pockets if you've lost.
Great to see a contest of the mainland versus the island. It's been a while. The last 4 or 5 cups have been contested mainly by mainland teams. Burnaby Lake, the losers on a couple of occasions, and UBC and the Ravens, obviously. I think the last time the island was in a final was when the UVic Vikes lost out quite heavily back in, I believe, 2015, 52-22. And that was UBC's first victory since 1947.
It is great to see the strong rugby shown from the island coming out in the BC Rugby Finals. As it's just an unforced error there by 15. Just had a look before he started to take that up. And unfortunately, he didn't secure that ball, and we've got another scrum.
Well, a lapse of concentration there just opened the door for UBC now to actually have some ball in good territory. Opportunity here to attack with a wide left side. I believe that's Alfie Scopes at number 8 from Judd School in Tunbridge, Kent, England. He's been quite the player for UBC this year, locking the scrum out. Let's see whether he picks or whether he feeds.
Saxon now gives it to McMullen. McMullen takes taken by a great tackle by the Wanderers there. Carson trying to fight his way through, joined by his brothers, looking for hit-ups.
Good shape off the scrum there, Josh, but they chose to go through the front door, and again, Castaway's defence was matched perfectly, and I think they're going to have to show a little bit more variation, UBC, if they want to get around the outside of this Castaway Wanderers defence.
That's David Carson there making the tackle, and it's over again. They're just Jackals all over the UBC Thunderbirds, and without that extra support, the Jackals are all day for the Wanderers, just over that ball and winning that ball as much as they like, and it's just a feeding frenzy for the Jackals of the Wanderers.
Well, UBC do like to offload in the tackle, and the big Carson boys with those long levers are able to do so, but it seems that Castaway Wanderers have done the homework, and this really is one important facet of the game, arguably more so than the scrums and lineouts, that Castaway Wanderers have got absolutely spot on, and UBC right now have no answer to. Half-time team talk from Kerry Hitchborn and Dee Bounce is going to be very interesting.
It will be, and it will be a great show of effort to come out in this second half and adjust to those Jackals that are just stealing the ball whenever they want and helping themselves.
Great teams adapt on the fly, Josh, and UBC haven't really been forced to adapt. Again, they play their style of rugby, they put 50 points a game on their opponents, and they haven't really been tested. And sometimes when you come the easy way through to the finals and you've never had that test, I mean, they beat Blue Capellanos and the Merrill-Omas away in the semis and quarters, you can come in a little bit rusty. And right now, UBC are definitely looking rusty.
As they move into a maul situation for the Wanderers, but they're going to get this ball out. They are. Bowed. Short ball to Daniel James. And James takes a hit up. Still trying to steal that ball, they do. Rutan gets that. And they've got it back there. UBC Thunderbirds with the ball. Options both sides for Carson. Gives it to O'Flaherty, and O'Flaherty bumps off the one, James. Carson to his brother, Carson.
No change in tactics here, Josh. Just going through the phases, backing themselves.
And he's straight through there, number 2. There's number Jake Bossy, and Bossy straight through, our try scorer.
What quick feet that Bossy has as a hooker. Looks more like an inside centre.
He does.
Now the jackpot prize for you is roughly somewhere around a 3.
And Carson now trying to get through, but doesn't.
And that number is
Bowed calling for the referee to blow up something.
08411.
Jacques now on for UBC. Saxa looking to get around the outside of the Wanderers.
Looking for some punch here, Josh. Just going side to side a little bit. A bit lateral from UBC. Again, Castaways, wonderful slide defence and
Quick
tap.
tap taken, yes. And he's out there on their left side.
That's what the sevens exponent Jack Carson can do for you when playing 9. Keep you on the front foot.
As Martino's takes it into contact.
Numbers
Saxa.
on the left side here, Josh. Surely the...
And they go right. As they give it to Don Carson.
Another turnover potentially there.
They manage to hold on to it now. Quick feet there of is Perciel.
Percilia, I believe.
Percilia, sorry. And taken in by Sol Jacks. And another strong run by Bossy. He's looking good.
Better ball retention here by UBC. Getting into the Castaways red zone. Just going through the phases, looking for the opportunities that will come if they can just keep recycling like this.
Saxa with that quick feet trying to get around those lazy defenders. Can't do it. Gives it now to Abercrombie. Abercrombie to McMullen. McMullen now. Drops the... Oh, he's lost the ball, and it's been picked up by James. And James with it for offload. Can't get it away. He had support, and he's inside. Here they go. Down the outside now. Fast feet of number 8, Cameron Sanderson. Big, huge run-up and great tackle by McMullen by Humphreys. And it's a penalty.
Well, I was about to say you have to admire the patience of Castaway Wanderers there, just picking their moments, counter-attacking. It reminds me of a heavyweight fight where you're just basically on the ropes and then you pick your moments, and Castaway have done that very, very well. But there at the breakdown was a penalty there for UBC. So,
and I think David Carson there was saying to the Castaway Wanderers, if you want to try and steal balls, I can do the same thing there. And that's what he did, and that's how they got the penalty. And now UBC Thunderbirds are on the attack.
Let's see what shape they can use here in the back line. Last time they chose to use Dakota McMullen through the front door. Maybe this time they'll use some speed and play out the back door and try and get the ball wide early. Look like they've got some real pace on the wings.
And I think John Land, the winger on the right-hand side, has moved in there next to Abercrombie. And we're going to see what they can come up with here. They need to get the ball first. The maul by UBC Thunderbirds. Getting it out now. Saxa beats 2. Straight through Saxa. He held onto him by the shorts.
Oh, another loose carry there.
Jack Carson loses it forward, and it's going to be a scrum advantage. And here they go, Bowd. Wanderers is away. He's away now on the outside. He's looking for the chip. He does. Adibe's not to him, but John Land's chasing it up. And a great tackle.
Maybe should have backed himself, kept the ball in hand there. I don't think he needed to put that on the toe there, Josh. But again, just the patience. It's like gamekeeper turned poacher. Suddenly from 60 yards out there on the counter-attack. But UBC not able to get a structured defence and opportunities all over the park. The game's coming to the final moments of the first half, but Castaway Wanderers have got to be over the moon with this first half performance.
Absolutely, and it was a difficult kick to try and chase too. It wasn't anywhere, but there wasn't the need to kick. There was only one person to beat, and it looks like they're going to go to half-time early.
Well, a golden opportunity there to maybe put some more points on the scoreboard, and a chance gone begging.
And that will take us to half-time with the score between UBC and the Castaway Wanderers. Castaway Wanderers 17 points against UBC 15. We'll be right back after the half-time break. And we're back for the second half of this men's Premier League final between the UBC Thunderbirds and the Castaway Wanderers. And the score, of course, is Castaway 17 over UBC 15. And looking like hopefully something was said to hopefully change the attacking tactics by the UBC Thunderbirds, Andy.
Well, there's a lot of life left in this game, and I watched UBC play the Ravens earlier in the season, which was a classic, and I believe UBC pipped them in the final play of the game, so I think they have the confidence to back themselves. I don't think the alarm bells are ringing just yet.
As the UBC now storm up with McMullen now taking a hit up, coming off the wing.
Looks like they may have addressed the breakdown issues there.
Well, that's good. O'Flaherty now, big hit up. Outside to Carson, fakes to Martinez, but Martinez was still there ready to go. Now they've stolen the ball, the Castaway Wanderers. As they look to send it wide with Chisholm. And given off to Schellenberger. And Schellenberger's taken down there by O'Flaherty. Gets it away to Bowd. Bowd looks on the outside to his centre pair into the wing. Wing's got a bit of space now. He's away. Kicks it in field. There is someone back there and he takes it on the full. It's Abercrombie looking to clear, and he clears away, but taken by Bowd again. Bowd long to Tate, and Tate straight up the middle, looking for options. Got a bit of support coming his way. Chisholm gives it to Kratz. Kratz now takes that down. They are 30 metres out from the line, the Wanderers, and the stolen ball again.
Well, UBC giving Castaway Wanderers a taste of their own medicine in this half. Looks like they're definitely committing more numbers to the breakdown. Maybe that was the issue in the first half, is that they were backing themselves a little bit too much to play the offloading game and getting caught short-handed. But definitely some adjustments have been made, as you would expect from a UBC coaching group.
And an expertise coaching group they have there at UBC as well. And now they're looking to start from the halfway on their attack. They have the breeze this half. What they can do with it would be looking great with their kicking game and so on and so forth.
Well, a wonderful breakdown the left flank there, but I believe there's a little bit too much mustard on that kick, which enabled UBC to then kick back and clear their lines.
And here come the UBC now with Rowan Rutan. And what a great post-contact meters. And gives it wide to Carson. And great cover there from me, but no. Oh, no rolling away there by Castaway Wanderers. They get the penalty.
Looks like Castaways are targeting the flanks to jackal and to go for those turnovers, allowing UBC maybe to go through the phases in the middle of the field and then looking for UBC players to get isolated and then picking those moments. But again, UBC are certainly winning the battle of the breakdown in this second half.
And you can see that strong breeze has really put a little extra into Abercrombie's kicking game, as he sends it far down the other side. And UBC looking to attack around 18 metres out from the line.
Well, one of the pillars of rugby union is field position. You've got to play in the right parts of the field, and it looks like UBC are doing that now.
As they come up to the 22, Carson gives it to Saxa. Saxa with those quick feet, and he gets them over the 22. Carson looking again, gives it to his brother. And
oh, there we are.
He's straight through. Oh, who's that over in town? He's over.
Wonderful offload. Wonderful offload there by Carson. Those long levers.
Frank Carson, just with the arms out and about, was managed to give that ball with the loose offload onto Owen Rutan.
It was like watching an albatross there, Josh.
I mean, it's beautiful to watch, getting those loose arms out of the tackle, and you're just very hard to defend when someone can offload that way.
Well, it's the kind of athletes that we want to see playing at the professional level and certainly wearing the Canadian jersey. It's something that we're lacking, and if these lads carry on their progression, I mean, they're only young, early 20s, then the future looks very bright.
Absolutely, as the conversion is successful, then taking UBC 22 points to Castaway Wanderers 17 here at the Men's Premier League final.
Well, that all came from a turnover penalty and a kick to touch and backing your line out, just playing the basics, not trying to do things that are too flash. I do believe that UBC may have changed their tactics somewhat since half-time.
And it's been great to watch with those slight changes in their attack. And you can see it's starting to pay off for them with a try early on in this second half.
Well, they always have players flooding through in support, Josh, so those offloads are always on.
As it's kicked out there, but it has travelled the 10. So it will be a line out. And it will be for the Thunderbirds. I think they've called for a scrum, actually. Here we go. Good option.
Well, UBC are on a 13 straight winning streak, only having lost once in 2021-2022, and that was the Vancouver Wave in the Coastal Cup back in the fall, and the Vancouver Wave went on to win the inaugural Coastal Cup. So this is probably one of the biggest tests they've had this season.
And it's been great to watch so far. Some great rugby being played.
Well, it's lived up to all its expectations so far, Josh. Just a 5-point game.
Absolutely. And here's a wonderful little black move set up there. Give it on the outside. Looks for the short ball. Does give it. Saxa now finishing it off. Saxa looks like he's going to score again for UBC Thunderbirds, and he does. Saxa. Well, what a beautiful little D-Bance backline move set up there. It looked hot to trot, and not only that, but it opened up gaps bigger than Swiss cheese. And not only did they just got through in between those holes, and then out from nowhere, Skillick Saxa there ready to receive on the outside. He dummies on his outside, gives it to him, finish it off, and he under the post for the fast feet of Saxa.
Well, it was an incredibly strong fend there, I believe, by the UBC centre that made the initial break. But a lot was still to be done. The little bits and pieces there of drawing the man first of all, executing that 2-on-1, and then the support player on the outside still had a bit to do. Without that support player, I don't believe they would have scored that try.
And that has been the massive difference there for the UBC. When there is a break made, there is support on inside and outside, which really helps when that player is looking for options to get around those last defenders.
It's surprising on this level, you do see those opportunities butchered way too often, so it's very nice to see that kind of accuracy and execution by this UBC Thunderbirds team. It's what you would expect from a club that's as close to professional as we've got in the amateur era here in Canada.
And it comes off the uprights there, and unfortunately not successful with the conversion. So the score remains UBC Thunderbirds 27 over the Castaway Wanderers 17.
Well, you think Dakota McMullen would know these posts, having kicked many goals here for his Earl Marriott school days, and would have realised there's a few extra layers of paint on that upright, and would have accounted for that.
Exactly. And those posts stood there for a long time, I can tell, and many goals been kicked through them indeed. As it looks like it's gone backwards by the Thunderbirds, and unfortunately the referee does not agree. So a knock on there by UBC. Here's a chance for the Castaway Wanderers to try and get back into this game.
Yeah, Castaway Wanderers starting the second half pretty much the same way they started off the first half, allowing some quick points. UBC quick out of the blocks as always, and an opportunity here for Castaway now to get some field position and go through a few phases, get some confidence back into their players, and just feed off what they did for the last 25 minutes of that first half.
And I'm sure that Bowd is looking to try and sort out something here in the attack. And a big, strong shove by UBC in the scrum as he offloads to Schellenberger there on the inside. And wow.
It's a tale of two halves at the breakdown, this, Josh. 12 slipped there, presented a wonderful opportunity for the Jackal, and the UBC poacher clasped his hands on that ball, and there was only ever going to be one outcome, and Bradley Schvalger got it bang on.
And it's, again, that whereas the UBC adjusted to make sure that they weren't going single out to the breakdown, we've had to ask the same questions asked of the Wanderers now to pick up and make sure they're covered in their breakdown.
He doesn't miss much, Brad Schvalger. He's, you don't really notice him because he does such a good job, allows the game to flow. With that trademark Kiwi accent and those trademark earrings of his, he's quite the poster boy for refereeing in this country.
Line out now for UBC. Carson up to get it. Abercrombie. Inside. Oh, it's a strong run by Land. Gives it to Saxa. Saxa on the outside to the new recruit, number 21, Stephen Pike. Sorry, not Stephen Pike. It is Wilson Valdez, 21 for UBC.
Wonderful decision not to pop that 50-50 offload and just to keep possession. Some smart play now.
And there's an injury back play. I don't know. Yeah, he's going to call it off. No.
Yeah, obstruction there in behind Kelly Martinez. Mistimed his run there. Possibly put off a little bit by the injury in back play.
And good to see that the referee's stopping to make sure everybody's safe on the field as they got rather close to the injured player.
There's nothing better to see than a wonderful offloading game in weather and conditions like these, Josh. It's a fine art that not everybody can do well, and it's knowing when to offload, when not to, and have those support runners running the right lines. And it's incredible to watch this UBC team. They're probably the best exponents of the offload I've seen in recent years here in Canada, and really do entertain the crowds.
And good for the game that Sachs is back on his feet now. He was the down and back play, and I think he's sucking in the big ones, and he's going to be okay for the rest of the game. Bowd now looking for a restart. It's going to be a penalty. And there's another substitution for Wanderers. Sanderson's off. And replacing Sanderson is number 18, Fualifau.
I don't believe that's Mike Fualifau for 1 second there, Josh. It might be his Irish cousin.
Yeah, could, yes. I was about to say that. I would sort of look down at the paper and I went, I don't think that's the person.
Well, thank you to those who brought us the team sheets today and made our life doubly difficult, but we'll get through somehow.
Absolutely. So number 18 isn't that? I'm going to say it's Sutherland. How about that? That's another person on the sheet. Oh, and a direct throw there by UBC, and it's luckily came off for them as Jack Carson now trying to find somewhere to get through.
He's got to be one of the biggest scrum halves in Canada, that lad. He actually looks like a fourth back rower.
Absolutely. Well, if he's anything the size of his brothers, are definite.
Well, he might be the run to the litter, but he's still probably 6 foot plus.
And now Carson looking to offload. Does.
Oh.
Stolen there by the 8, which is Sanderson. And not releasing again.
Game's getting a little bit loose right now.
It is starting to get loose indeed.
Which I think, again, will play into the hands of the Thunderbirds. So I think Casway Wanderers need to get a grip on this. Graydon Bowd, get his hands on the ball, start dictating play again and stamping his authority, which he seems to have had a quiet start to the second half, Graydon Bowd.
Yeah, he needs to get back involved and start talking more.
Well, everything does come off him, and maybe UBC have targeted him. But there's a golden opportunity now on the 22. Let's see if Casway Wanderers can get some points back on the scoreboard.
And it's heading over the head of Chisholm, and Bowd's there to try and clean it up. Bowd takes it into contact, and a couple of jackals over the top, but they're not able to get the ball out. Big hit up here by Finnemore, and he's taken down just on the 30 metres out from the UBC line. It's a penalty. Again, another jackal, another steal, another hold.
Well, kudos to the UBC team and the staff, the way they've turned around the breakdown since half-time. It's night and day. It's chalk and cheese. It's absolutely exceptional the way that UBC have been able to adapt on the fly, address the one Achilles heel in their game, and now stamp some authority. And again, it looks like they're going to be attacking from a line out just shy of the halfway line.
And I think that's the second time that Owen Rattan has been there at over the ball, looking to steal that and cause the penalty for his team. So it's really, really good effort there by UBC.
I think it's a case of anything you can do, we can do better, Josh.
Absolutely.
And the lineouts have been messy.
Yes, I'll say the lineouts haven't been as nice as you'd like to see them. I mean, you could obviously account for the breeze, but I don't think that's the effort.
Kerry will not be happy, I can tell you that.
And UBC now in position.
Well set up here.
Carson gives it to on the
good
outside.
Strong fend again.
Big don't argue. And McMullen now and taken. Oh, he's brought. Is he taken out? No, he's given to Andrews Olmack.
Dominant carry that. Penalty coming off the back of the hard work there by Dakota McMullen. Young lad, probably only 20 years of age, but showing incredible strength and an amazing right-hand fend there to fend off two would-be Castaway Wanderers defenders to make a 30-yard gain and then win a penalty for UBC.
Oh, it was a fantastic don't argue on the outside. Really showed dominance there on two defenders, and unlucky, just ran out of room there on the wing.
You've got to say, Josh, that UBC look like they're in the ascendancy, that they've got a firm grip back on this game.
They do, and they're squeezing it out, the Castaway Wanderers, and they've got to dig deep for something else. As we now look to this scrum, fed in by Jack Carson.
Oh, a little bit of dark arts there between the two nines.
Oh, they're good fun. I love it. Love it when the nines go. Well, I don't know about you, but it looked to me like the foot was straight in a touch.
Going back at a fair rate of knots, UBC. And a good counter-ruck, but UBC retain possession.
It looks like we've got the assistant referee on the other side that points at the spot. And there's no pointing here, so the assistant referee did not see the foot in the touch over this side. And UBC now trying to get strong pick and goes, but they don't. And a little knock on, a little bobble at the back there of the ruck. And unfortunately goes against UBC. And you can see Jack Carson now trying to state his claim about the scrum half tripping him over, which I don't think he did.
What would you expect from any chirpy scrum half? It's part of their DNA and psyche. They're sure he's going to try and get into Brad Schvalger's mind there, but Brad's a bit too smart for that.
Absolutely. Scrum half without they're the best with the chat, and that's all you need for a good scrum half. What can Castaway Wanderers do here? They're in their own half. Bowd looks on the left-hand side, looking to probably clear it. I mean, a bit tough with the breeze, but the scrum is dominated by...
Well, this is Mike Fullerfau, the Canada 7 Stars, obviously come on at some stage. We must have missed that. No number on his back. Not taking any nonsense there from the UBC player who dives like a soccer player.
Owen Rattan there.
Not impressed, the Castaway Wanderers players there. Wrong sport.
Yeah.
But let's see what Mike Fullerfau does. He's certainly a big unit, especially a big unit for a Sevens exponent.
And, of course, no number, so luckily you are aware of who that player is there, Andy.
Well, it looks like he's in the outside centre channel right now. Hands on hips. They've obviously realised that Dakota McMullen is the threat there with his dominant running and his don't argue handoff, as you so aptly coined. And I think Fullerfau was there to do a job and to nullify McMullen.
Absolutely. Smart play by the Wanderers with their positional changes. And here comes right through the middle, that's Sutherland.
What a lovely flat ball there from Graydon Bowd. Took the ball to the line, delivered a flat pass, put him through the gap.
And what's the call here? Looks like some players trying to get back on side, and they've been handled incorrectly as the assistant referee comes on to tell the story.
Wouldn't it be nice, Josh, if we could have these referees mic'd up?
I think they are mic'd up.
Are they mic'd up?
I think they are.
Well, maybe mic'd up to our live stream.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah. I wasn't being facetious.
I thought you meant, I hope they could be mic'd up to each other, and I'm like, they are mic'd up to each other, I'm pretty sure.
Well, on your average Saturday, you could doubt that, but this Saturday they're doing a very good job. It's certainly taking it to another level. It's a shame we can't have this level of production every week at our BC Premier games, but I'm so grateful that we can show this off at Bayside Sharks, a clubhouse that's soon to be open, and a wonderful day just to showcase what a gorgeous part of the world we're in.
Absolutely, and Brad Schvalger has absolutely reached to his pocket for a yellow card on number 16 for the UBC Thunderbirds, which is Joshua Tweed. So Josh Tweed goes for 10 minutes in the sin bin. And
well, if that's Joshua Tweed, he should know better, because this is his home field. He grew up at Semi-Armour School just to the right of us and played for the Bayside Shark Junior program coming through the ranks. So I don't think he'll be happy to be yellow carded on his home turf.
No, never good to be yellow carded in your home ground. Especially when you have all your fans here to see you play, and they won't see you play for 10 minutes.
Well, you might have 10 minutes to have a chat with a few of them, though, Josh.
There you go. As the Wanderers now, it doesn't look like it was straight, but they play on anyway. As they force a nice little mole, great little shove, and they're still going. Fast feet. And UBC struggling to hold that maul. And there's breaking away now. He's going at the back there, which was Heron. Heron now giving the outside. He couldn't score, and he's over.
Well, I was about to say, if there was ever an opportunity to claw back a 10-point deficit, it would be now with a man down, playing against 14, and Castaway Wanderers showing a clinical streak there.
Absolutely. Heron got on the outside. He broke away the back of that maul. And who was there to cover but the scrum half, Pilgrim? And he gave it off to the Pilgrim in the outside, and Pilgrim scores in the corner for the Castaway Wanderers, trying to claw their way back into the game. And now we have a game on our hands. 27 points to 22 with UBC in front with a kick to come.
It really is game on, Josh. Now it's a seesaw battle where both teams have held the lead and then lost it. And you've got to think with a UBC prop forward in the bin for another 9 minutes plus, that Castaway Wanderers have a wonderful opportunity here to get some points on the board and establish some dominance going into the final quarter of the game.
And you said it exactly well, with the UBC Thunderbirds for the next 8 minutes down to 14 men. Well, hopefully Castaway Wanderers can roll on and try and get some more points on the board. Kick now.
Into the wind there. Just shows you the strength of the wind there. You can't tell, well, you can tell from up here as the tent keeps blowing off above us, but it's obviously a factor in the kicking game. And I think UBC probably, if they were smart now, would need to pin Castaway Wanderers back in these corners and have them attack from deep.
So the score remains UBC Thunderbirds 27 over the Castaway Wanderers 22.
Well, UBC have already leaked more points than what they averaged all season with 20 minutes of the game left. So the Castaway Wanderers are obviously able to capitalise on any UBC errors and are able to score also from anywhere on the field. It really does set this game up for a very exciting last 20 minutes. 5 points is nothing at this level. And maybe the yellow card could be the factor.
It could be, but I'm not sure what the stoppage is about. We're getting some taping done in the middle here. It's really slowing down the play. I'm not sure if that's going to affect the 10 minutes.
I'm sure the clock will be stopped for that, but it'll certainly allow UBC to get their breath back. And playing with 14 men, you want to waste as much time as you can. I'm sure Bradley and the fourth official will add this to the clock.
And looks like he's taped back up there. That was the number 12, Schellenberger. And looks like we're going to be back in here. And it's a high kick and picked off well by the 5, Humphreys. And Wanderers with the ball. And taken up by the 18. And penalty. Straight off their feet, over the ball.
Yeah, hands on the floor there, hands on the ruck, yeah. It's let's Castaway Wanderers off lightly if he can find touch, and Grady Bow does. No doubts on that one.
And now they've really got to start working to try and get, again, we've probably got about 6 or 7 minutes left for the sin bin for Josh Tweed for the UBC Thunderbirds.
We've seen a few cards today, Josh. The last game there between Bayside and the UBC Old Boy Ravens, I was losing track. It actually resembled more of an octagon than a rugby field at one stage, that game.
Well, I did mention that the Old Boys went down to a rugby league team at 13 aside.
And seemed to do better because of it.
Exactly. As the number 19, Sutherland, takes up the hit up for Wanderers. Chisholm, outside to Bowd. Plenty of room on the wing there by Angus Boyd Porter. And he's taken over the line.
Lovely flat wide pass, but UBC defence there slid really, really well. Matched Castaway Wanderers up. But again, the intent there of moving the ball wide early by Castaway Wanderers.
And that's what we like to see. Some space, some really nice movement of the ball by the 10s. And some nice running rugby.
There's been some excellent handling on display today, Josh, but in conditions like these, if you can't handle today, when can you handle?
That's right.
So used to playing in the snow and the sleet and the rain and the mud. The only thing I would say is we're not used to playing in these conditions.
Exactly. As Carson looks to get the offload again to his brother Jack. Saxon now. They've got those feet moving again.
It really is a game of offloads and footwork.
It is, absolutely. As a hit up by the David Carson again. McMullen.
Able to stay on his feet and set a target there for his support players. Strong lad there, Dakota McMullen. Opportunity here.
Outside Allman Andrews. Andrews Allmack, sorry.
Might be isolated here.
Starting to work now, UBC, as Owen Rattan starts to work here.
Sets up to go wide.
To McMullen. Short on the outside to the new player on the field, number 20. Is that 25? That's not even on the sheet. So.
It's like Wordle, this, Josh.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure rugby union numbers go to 23, but according to UBC Thunderbirds.
Oh, that is sublime. Did you see that pass around the back?
It was an unbelievable tackle and an unbelievable pass.
The lad's got it all great and bowed. Who is this lad?
What a great work there done by Castaway Wanderers as they're still in the attack here. Number 18 making a move and bound shouting to his team. Go right, go right.
Why don't we have an action replay for the viewers?
Oh, he's straight through for the foul. Is it? No, that's not.
Oh, another great offload, but
Humphreys, Adibe, now for the foul. He's coming, steps inside, he beats him in. Oh, he's taken down 5 meters, 1 meter out. What can the Castaway Wanderers do here? Sutherland.
It's a golden opportunity now for the Wanderers.
Got to work now. Pushing it through. Looking for runners. Chisholm. Ball out. Doesn't get it over. Try there! What a try by the Castaway Wanderers!
Well, that all began by a sublime around the back offload that you would expect from Quade Cooper, not Graydon Bowd. Unbelievable accuracy, and then coast to coast, left to right, and then Fullerfire puts on one of his trademark steps, almost goes over himself. Patience with the pick and go, and Castaway Wanderers, as we expected, are straight back in the game.
And that was a beautiful run there by Fullerfire on the outside. He basically stepped off his right.
I even went with that step, Josh. I almost ended up in the crowd.
Exactly. And it was all basically brought down about a meter out, Fullerfire, and then all on the outside, gives on the inside to his counterparts, looking for runners. Chisholm almost got over there and finally put down by the Castaway Wanderers. And the kick now is converted, so the Castaway Wanderers are now in the lead. They lead the UBC Thunderbirds 29 points to 27.
Well, viewers back home and abroad, strap yourselves in. We're in for a heck of a last 14 minutes of rugby here. The yellow card must be up shortly, Josh, and it could go any way now.
Absolutely.
Will the youth athleticism and dynamism of the UBC team get them through, or will Castaway Wanderers, the seasoned vets with the experience, and the maestro at 10 who's having an absolute ring dinger of a game, Graydon Bowd, will he see them over the line?
Oh, and it's a great pickup by the 5. No, John Humphreys. He was right up there. Chisholm now gives it to Finnemore, and Finnemore making his way up towards halfway.
They can smell it, Josh, can't they?
They absolutely can. 18 with a nice big hit up in the middle, trying to clean them out, and he does so. Bowd now, calling for it. Gives a short ball, the inside, the beautiful pass. Oh, it's lost up to Rattan. Rattan now with the ball. So he's trying to get it away, could not do it. Looks like we're going to go back for a scrum. And the first knock on against the Castaway Wanderers. So it'll be a UBC loose head and feet.
Did Castaway Wanderers really need to force the play from that part of the field? You know, I know the sails are up at the moment, but with a 2-point lead, you'd think they'd be sensible forcing UBC to attack from deep and make the mistakes.
Absolutely. It's unbelievable the amount of offloads and passing that they've got getting away. And then just unlucky that time for the Wanderers as they try to get that pass out. And it went down.
Well, you could argue it's worked for them in the last 5 or 10 minutes, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if I was the coach, I'd be looking for them to play a little bit of field position, and knowing that the UBC are going to throw caution to the wind, there's opportunity to pick points up from penalties or loose passes. Castaway Wanderers don't need to be the ones forcing the game right now.
Especially when they're 2 points ahead of UBC Thunderbirds as we speak. Now, up to the new player, 25. Kind of high, and this crowd went up. The referee doesn't have a problem with it. Abercrombie sends it wide. Gives it to...
Wonderful footwork. But looks like
no advantage. penalty back here, I believe, is going to be for an offside.
Surely they'll take the 3 points here.
You'd have to, wouldn't you?
Well, after what I've seen today, no.
Surely, with the wind behind them and the position in front.
Well, I'd say it's not in UBC's DNA because Bayside Sharks played UBC Prem Reserves in the semi-final last weekend, and there was several opportunities to kick easy points during the game, and UBC backed themselves, ended up losing the game by 2 points.
Interesting.
It's a common theme, sadly, at this level, whereby I don't know whether it's a coaching thing where you're giving too much freedom to your players, but I see at the professional level coaches telling and dictating to players what to do. That's what they get paid for.
Absolutely.
Live and die by those decisions. So smart here by UBC to take the 3.
And if they get this kick, then that will take them in the lead by 1 point. So to regain the lead for UBC Thunderbirds. And it sails wide for UBC.
The tension there was palpable, Josh.
It was. And you could see the, I guess the Wanderers fans at the end there were cheering when it slid to the left slightly. Now, for the 22 dropout, Bowd in possession.
Quite the let-off there for Castaway Wanderers, who are still nudging this by 2 points. Graydon Bowd calming everybody down.
And he sends it high and just before the halfway. And it's taken by the new player. And Frank Carson now takes up the hit up. Looking for his brother Donald. Donald Carson looks for the offload. Does holds it. Takes it into contact. Options both sides for Jack Carson. And hit up there by Bossy. Carson to Abercrombie. Abercrombie to Rotan is on the outside here.
And that looks like, absolutely. I thought maybe there was a bit of a lift there and a
dangerous throw. Martinez.
He only knows one route, and that's route 1.
Absolutely. Straight up the guts. That he goes right. Jack Carson straight through. Oh, he's just brought down. He's given the offload.
Carson to Carson. They could have written a better script.
It was just like they were in the backyard of their home. Jack Carson takes off through, then looks for his brother Frank, gives a short one up the top, and Frank Carson goes next to the post and scores. What a try by UBC Thunderbirds, and that takes them over 33 points to 29 with a kick to come in front.
I'm sure those 4 Carsons have dreamt of finals footy over the years, playing rugby in the back garden with their parents, 2v2, 3v3. This is the stuff you dream of. And a wonderful half break just to snipe that opportunity and to go through and to know that on your inside there was going to be somebody there. Who else but your brother or cousin, not quite sure which one, but a wonderful, wonderful try at a very opportune moment with 8 minutes left in the game.
And he kicks it, so that means we now are at 35 points to 29, UBC over the Castaway Wanderers. So, whilst it's over that point, there's only one try in, a converted try in it. Can the Castaway Wanderers come back? We have got 8 minutes, just under 8, over 7 minutes left to go on the clock. Let's see what happens here.
Well, I think Graydon Bowd's going to have to pull another rabbit out of the hat here if Castaway Wanderers are going to strike back and convert to give them the win.
And he kicks long and high, and this time they cannot regain it. And Bossy takes a big hit up there for the UBC Thunderbirds. And Don Carson now. Jack Carson at the back. And a clearing kick. And Bowd's back there, and Bowd now looking to what does a big up and under and follows it up. And taken by Frank Carson. Now to the new player, which is Isaac Kelly.
Oh, again gets lifted and lucky there, gets brought back down on his back, so no penalty called. Wonderful pick up there.
McMullen. Oh, no, he's going to call back for a knock-on, which I thought was a knock-on.
But again, no need to force the play from your own 22 when you're 6 points up. Use the wind, use the breeze, kick for the corners. Last time they did, Bowd kicked the ball back.
And there's 6 minutes to go here. Here's an opportunity for the Castaway Wanderers to try and steal this game off the UBC Thunderbirds. They're only in front by 6. All they need is a converted try.
The UBC just lacking a little bit of game management there, maybe showing their inexperience. But again, the goal to entertain and play from anywhere in the park is admirable. Doesn't always win you championships, though.
As we adjust the commentating box that almost flew away with this breeze. So if you're wondering at home, folks, how strong this breeze is, our canopy just almost took off itself. As UBC with a really big, huge push in the scrum. Now, Bowd to field foul.
Oh, giving McMullen a taste of his own medicine there with a big left hand fend.
Gives it now to Humphreys. And Humphreys looking to try and get a few meters up. On to Clark. And Clark takes the ball up. And the ball has gone spilled, but they've managed to hold on to it, the Wanderers. Bowd gives it to 18, who takes it up strongly.
Good line speed by the UBC defence. And again, Castaway Wanderers getting isolated on the outside, knowing when to jackal, when to poach, and UBC there bide their time and win a very opportune penalty to relieve some pressure. I just feel like this is the 13th round of a heavyweight fight, and I just feel like the younger, fitter UBC now are gaining the ascendancy, and Castaways are looking a little bit tired.
Yes, I think if Castaway Wanderers are going to steal this game, they're going to have to do it with something miraculous. Either another one of those Graydon Bowd's reverse around the back passes, or even just something from our from Mike Fulifal. If we can get something sparked, then that's how they might steal this game. But so far, it's been all UBC one-way traffic in these last few moments. Isaac Kelly now. Strong hit up there by Isaac.
Another product of EMS school down the road, another Bayside Shark Junior. Would love to win a trophy on his home ground, along with Kelly Martinez, Joshua Tweed, Dakota McMullen, 4 local lads. No better time and place to do it than a Bayside Shark Tank.
And as Martinez takes up a strong hit, he's right
wonderful!
He's been called back for a knock on.
He is as wide as he is tall, Kelly Martinez.
Absolutely. He is huge.
Hands on the hips, but that's not because he's tired. I know the lad's got lungs the size of balloons.
Hands on hips just to hold up them biceps he's got going on.
Welcome to the Gun Club.
Now, here's the opportunity that the Castaway Wanderers need.
Oh.
But it's a huge shove in the, and looks, and it's been shoved and moved.
Curry Hitchborn, all 6'9" of him there with his hand in the air. Over the moon with that effort.
Loves the scrummaging, Curry. And he definitely, as they go now, they make it to Isaac Kelly. Looking to get the ball away, doesn't do it. Carson over to Abercrombie. Abercrombie on to Perciel.
Percillier, perhaps.
Sorry, Percillier. Yeah. I don't have it written down. I'm making it up as I go along. Yeah. Saxa now. And Rutain now. Still taking up those hard yards late in the game. He's had a good game, Rutan.
Isaac Kelly playing 9 now.
With a nice pick and go. Martinez. And they've got to come out quick and take those legs away. Otherwise, they get a bit of steam on and it's hard to stop.
Well, you need a chainsaw to take those legs down.
Absolutely.
Good footwork. But potential turnover ball here.
And the ball has been turned over. Bowd. Oh, I don't know what the kick is for. That's dangerous for Saxa. Saxa's got the guns to get around. He's still going. Saxa gives it to Bossy. Bossy now. 5 minutes out with another offload. Oh, they're almost there, the Thunderbirds, and they are there. It's a try. Wow. Wasn't sure what the plan was from Bowd, but he had to try something. And he kicked it out wide and gave Saxa all the room in the world out there.
Well, it was a tired-looking play. It was a kick to nothing. He's not put a foot wrong all game, but you've got to say, with at least 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes left on the clock, didn't need to force that kick. Wasn't really on. If he could have that moment back, I'm sure he'd take it.
And in the desperate times and desperate measures, you're looking for all options and all opportunities. Just the wrong option at that time. Kicks it out to Saxa. Saxa just had so much room around. He danced around with those quick feet of his, and then he came straight back in the middle. And then it was from there, it was just a push and shove and a battering contest with those big UBC pack.
You can't open the door to a UBC team like this. They'll just barge straight through it. It was the minute he kicked it, you knew there was going to be no good outcome. But again, the offloading skills and the support play, Johnny on the spot there, just going through a couple of phases. They are very clinical, this UBC team. They don't make many mistakes when they can smell the line, and they do come away with points most often when they are in the opposition red zone.
And we have a slight injury there at the moment, but looks like he's okay now. He's up. Conversion now. It looks like, unless there's a miracle, the UBC are going to be taking this.
Well, this will push the game out to 13 points with the stoppage time now as the 80 minutes comes to a close. Must be maybe 2 minutes of stoppage time, Josh.
Yep, I would say that. We did have that big stoppage in the middle at a half time, so there could be a couple of minutes of stoppage time. But
well, it's a 13-point game if he kicks this one.
And he does.
Castaway Wanderers need to score twice and convert to have any chance of pulling this one back. But up against it now, I mean, valiant effort. Carried the game in the second half and we're in it ahead with 10 minutes to go. But as UBC have proven on occasion this year, as they beat the Ravens in the final play of the game, they can go the full 80.
And well, it looks like we're going back to check on this player. Make sure they're okay. And
that's a very good look there from the red-headed Castaway Wanderers, who was just leaking a bit of claret there for a while.
Oh, yeah. He's got the mummy look going on now. Halloween's come early for number 18 for the Castaway Wanderers.
Let's see what Bowd can do with a kickoff here to give Castaways a chance of regaining possession.
And it's a decent kick. It's going to travel the 10. It's high. And it's knocked back by one of the Carson boys there. It might be Don.
I'm sure those lads played some basketball and volleyball growing up at school. Definitely must be multi-sport athletes. You can just tell by the way they play the game. And that's one of the beauties of Canada, is that you can use some of these cross sports.
Has lots of space now. Here he's away. And short down for... Yeah, he looks like he's over there. Perfect there. Andrews Almack, it looks like, on the wing. And UBC are very, very happy indeed. And it just goes to show that valiant effort by the Castaway Wanderers. But UBC are too strong, too powerful, and way too much fitness towards the end of the... They just look like it'd go for another 40 minutes, Andy.
Well, if it kicks this, I'm going to have to leave early, Josh, and collect my winnings from the bookie store, because I did predict a 20-point victory.
Wow. And we got Mystic Andy over here is predicting the score leads as well.
I can tell you, Josh, it only happens when I never place a wager on it. The minute I put money on it, it all goes wrong.
Exactly. Well, they're quite happy with themselves, UBC Thunderbirds, as the Wanderers just looking around, wondering where it all went wrong. But like it pointed out in the last couple of moments, some real good effort here by the UBC Thunderbirds.
They really did find another gear when they needed to.
They absolutely did. And they kicked that goal as well. So the score, UBC 49, Castaway Wanderers 29. 1 minute to go, according to Brad, the referee. And it looks like they're going to go for it here. Valiant effort of the Castaway all the way to the end.
Just ran out of steam there in the last 10 or 15 minutes. The fitter professional outfit of UBC took them home. Castaways look out on their feet. And yet UBC look like they've got plenty of gas left in the tank.
Like I said, Andy, they could go another 40 minutes with the way they're picking up this play.
And that's the difference at this level when you have a professional style environment like UBC versus amateurs who are lucky if you can train twice a week. The gap is widening, and it blows me away, Josh, in a country like Canada, that a university team can actually be the best club team in the country. I mean, testament to UBC, but makes you really wonder about the amateur club level. I don't know any other countries in the world where a university team could be top of the club sides.
Well, I mean, I could tell you Sydney University would be one of those one of those clubs in the Shute Shield, based in Sydney. But again, it does come down. I think there's an opportunity there to spread the wealth. You know, you could look at ways where we could all get most of our club teams up to that level.
Well, they're leading the way, and that's the main thing. Somebody's got to lead the way, and kudos to UBC for showing the way. The question is, can everybody else follow, or will the Coastal Cup and MLR be the new way going forward?
And some great questions to ask as this maul is just terrorizing. Great valiant effort with 30 seconds to go in this game. Bowd now. Chips ahead. He's looking for Adibe. And Adibe catches it. When he make it? Oh, what a tackle there by McMullen. And it looks like it's been held up or timeout.
I think he's talking to his AR there to see whether he actually grounded the ball.
It's a try!
Well, good for Castaway Wanderers. So glad I put no money on the outcome of this score, Josh. I would be devastated right now.
Yeah, well, yeah. Unfortunate for you. You had the 20 points, and now with a nice. I mean, you never take your money off Bowd, do you? Bowd probably overheard you mentioning that, and said, "I don't want Andy winning that money," and so set himself up for a beautiful cross kick that Adibe just catches and then puts the ball down over the chalk. So, you know, well effort there by Bowd. I mean, he's had a few of those try assists, and you know, well deserved to get the final try assist here in this Premier League final.
He's actually had a fantastic game. He's certainly been the pivot for all Castaway Wanderers' good play. Yes, we will forgive him the one crossfield kick, but he more than made up for it with a wonderful reverse around the back pass and that crossfield kick pass to create two great tries.
And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Your 21-22 premiers for Premier League Men's Division here at South Surrey Athletic Park of the Bayside Shark Tank is the UBC Thunderbirds with their score 49 points against the Castaway Warriors 34.
And true to form, they've scored 49 points, which has been their average all season.
Wow. So they got their average point score to get in the BC final. And congratulations to UBC Thunderbirds. And thank you very much for listening to us.